and welcome those that have come to sit down and pass us by. Welcome, come and sit down, rest your weary legs. I'm Sam Eden, I'm the London Director for the Federation of Master Builders. The Master Builders are one of the largest trade association in the UK. We represent around 7,000 to 8,000 SME building firms. It always amazes me the level of practical skills that builders hold and what they can produce in our built environment. But one area that I speak to builders about is making a success of their construction firm. You know, whether that's finances, whether it's marketing, whether it's profile, whether are they charging enough, are they making enough profit. So these are the key elements that I often speak to them about. And the Federation of Master Builders does lots and lots of training. We help them with contracts, we help with HR. So if you want to speak to us about joining the Federation today, come and speak to me afterwards. But luckily we're joined by one of our members, Jay Gentle from Prestige Build Management, who's just going to talk to some of the key elements that he brought into his business to do exactly what I was just talking about before. So, welcome Jay, over to you.
Hi everyone. So my name's Jay Gentle. I, like everybody else, started off in the trenches. I was a plasterer back in the day. I did that for many years, maybe 10 years. I was running a self-employed person. And in the last 11 years, I've had my own construction company, Prestige Build Management. All the images you see behind these are also our projects. So, so we're here today to talk about running a business.
Started off with a review, so you're typical builder, love it. So if I can ask you then, Jay, what are some of the elements that make, I know this is a massive question really, and we could probably spend an hour and a half on it, but we've only got 30 minutes, so kind of an overview, what were the key elements that you brought in to make your business successful in construction?
Have you seen the movie John Wick?
Which one?
1, 2, 3 or 4, there's loads of them.
Oh yes, I've seen 3 I think.
Yeah, it's 3. So a lot of us have seen this movie. In this movie there's an organisation called the High Table. And John is he's a contractor as well, different kind of contractor, but he's a contractor.
Right.
And the High Table have got a set of values, and John has often says through the movies, I will serve, I will be of service.
Okay.
I think as contractors we need to understand that we are in service to our clients.
Right.
We are creating a service. When you start off as a builder, you're building a loft, you're making a kitchen or doing a bathroom. That's a practical application. When you start dealing with a client and you're wanting money from them, managing time, you get guys working for you, you have to manage them, manage wages. You're now running a business, and that business becomes a service.
Yeah.
For us to run a service, we need another set of tools. There's people buying tools here today, and they're all well and good. But when you're running a business, you need another set of tools. Tools that is going to allow your business to grow, prosper, and be successful.
Okay.
So we start off, if we want to run a successful business, we need to take the time to sit back and think about what it actually means to run a business. We need to take time to sit down and think about who we are and how we want that to be seen by the clients that we're going to be getting in front of us. Because what we call those are values, a set of values. Every successful business, whether it be McDonald's, Coca-Cola, whoever you mean, they have a mission statement. They have a list of things that they want their business to reflect out in the world. And as contractors, no matter whether you've got you and one lad, or whether you've got 20 people or 30 people, it's really important that your business reflects who you want to be. I know that you as builders take pride in your job, but if you've got a lad on site who doesn't understand what you want him to do, and not just on the tools, when the client talks to him and he's like, oh, I'm not interested, or gives them an attitude, that reflects back on you. And you're trying to build your business. Yeah. So you need those values to be seen and understood with everybody who's working for you, who is inside your business.
Yeah.
So, when we think about values, this is a review from one of our clients. As you can see, it's on Trustpilot. It's March this year. And this is what the client's saying, that Prestige helped take our first ever home renovation in February 22. From the very first meeting, Jay was professional, calm, reassuring, conscientious of what we wanted to achieve. The project was initially a side return extension. The level of the finish that Prestige delivered is fantastic. That's what I want to hear, because that reflects who we are as a business. We've absolutely no regrets for choosing Prestige to take the job. Every member of the team was considerate, polite, worked incredibly hard. That's what I want my business to reflect out into the world. We felt confidence in them to take the house apart and rebuild it. One thing, and this is really important, because we want to charge more money. We want to be valued. How is that valued expressed in the world? Well, it's the money we make, the profit we make. It's all well and good having good cash flow in your business. That means money coming in, but unless you actually make a profit, where are you going to be? You need to actually be able to put that money in your pocket. And what a lot of small businesses do, you can be a busy fool. That means you've got a lot going on. You've got 5 projects running, paying everybody, but you're not actually making a profit. One thing, they might be more expensive than other building companies, but you get what you pay for. That's the client. I mean, what better recommendation could you ask for? They're telling not you, someone else is telling other people, these people are expensive, but we're glad that we use them. So from the level of finish throughout, personal service, Jay, and the after build attention, this is really also important, because when you finish the job, we have snagging issues, we have to pop back. You know, you want to be able to be available on the phone, they want to be able to get hold of you. That gives people security and confidence, and that's when they tell their friends, these guys are great, they can be trusted. Anyway, they ended up with a beautiful house they couldn't have been more proud of. Definitely recommend Prestige to anyone. That's what we want.
So in terms of you spoke a little bit there about, the foundations, bringing in values, and I think that's what's really key. When I speak to a lot of builders, they talk about growing maybe too fast. And I think that's another element that you spoke about when we've done these before, is actually those values reflect what type of business you want to be, rather than just going, well, that's the biggest job, that's the most profit, I jump into that right now, take on too many people and then overstretch.
Yeah, it's like, everybody needs building work, and it's very easy to grow very fast. And in fact, in 2016, when we had 40 odd people and 2 project managers, we nearly went bankrupt because we didn't keep an eye on the company.
Right.
This is when we set up our business, as well as values, we need to have an understanding of, the strategy and the planning. We need to have this. We need to have the office. Even if it's just you and your missus, you need to have this organised. You need to have your client relationships sorted out. How you're going to manage your sites, your marketing, your branding, because what happens is when it escalates and your business grows, you don't have time to deal with all of these other things. So if you haven't got these things in place right at the start of your business, and then you're trying to play catch up afterwards, it's just very stressful.
What about, what are some of the things you see that builders struggle? Why do they struggle? Why does this happen? Why is it the overstretching we were talking about before? Is it the growing too fast? Or
I think a lot of builders struggle, again, because they don't have a strategy and they don't have a process. They haven't spent time to think about those things at the beginning of their business. As you can see from this, 20% of small businesses fail in the first year, 60% of small business fail within the first 3 years. And as you can see from this one, 20% of business fail in the first 2 years, 25%, 65% fail within the first 10 years. So only 25% of businesses are actually successful. The rest of them usually are failing at some point. And I think, if you look at it, 38% of businesses are run out of cash. And I think when you grow too quickly, money's going out all over the place, suppliers are asking for things, you guys want pay rises, all of these things are going on. If you have not got that system in place and that process in place as a core of your business, any of these things are probably going to happen to your business and they could wipe you out.
So in terms of starting out a construction firm, okay, I come to you and I say, Jay, I'm going to start tomorrow, I really want to build a business, I've been working for someone else, I want to build my own business, where do I start? What's your advice? Don't do it, or?
If you're in that situation, you've probably already got a few jobs. You were working for someone else, you started doing some weekend work, you now got a few clients, you're starting to feel like a bit of confidence that you can go out on your own. So that is the time to really, as we said, get back to the basics. Decide on what is your mission, like a mission statement. Like I said, all successful businesses have one. In our business, it started off with quality, service and trust. Quality, service and trust. When I wanted I wanted those qualities to be reflected in every job. And everybody that worked for me, I always used to say that to them. You need to set your business up in a way, how you got, as I said, with that mission statement, but also how you're going to deliver it, how you're going to deal with your suppliers, how you're going to deal with your team. So when you start off your business, you really need to just sit down and plan, make a plan, get a business plan, think about it before you get busy. Don't think about it after.
And what about in terms of challenges? So, business is set up, like you say, they might already have worked for another firm, started off themselves, got some jobs lined up. But what are the challenges they face? Is it, building control? Is it health and safety? And what are some of the areas that you found were really challenging when you were starting out to make a success of it on your own?
Yeah, I mean, cash flow is always going to be, for you to be able to grow your business,
Yeah.
it's all right when you're just paying yourself. When you want to get other people in, you need to understand your finances.
Yeah.
You need to understand how your pricing works. A lot of builders, they start off on a day rate, so they think, well, I'll add 20-30% to the day rate, and if I get a lad, I'll add 20% to 30% to his day rate. Oh, well, I've made a profit. You haven't thought about your overheads, the phone bills, the marketing. If you haven't got a website, you probably want to get one. And all of these elements are going to be costs that are going to be on top of that. So what I found, we called our company Prestige because we wanted to hit the high-end market, but we also wanted to charge, believe it or not, 30% margin.
Wow.
Why? Because we want to cover our overheads and still make a profit. And I think when we go back to that, why do small businesses fail? It's because they don't charge enough. Builders who are starting out are afraid to put their prices up because they want the work, which is fair enough. But if you plan your business at the start and you set it up in the right way, because you have to think about who is your client avatar. What do I mean by that? I mean, who are the people that you want to be working for? Do you want to be working with someone who's living in a council house, or do you want to work with someone who's living in a 5-bedroom house? Because that's going to dictate how much money you can charge. But to be able to get to those people in the 5-bedroom house, you have to be presenting your business in a way that it can be seen and people are drawn towards it. That's marketing and branding. So you have to sit down and plan ahead.
Yeah. It's so competitive though, isn't it? I mean, you see going out to tender, they think, I lower the price, if I could just lower it, I could just get the job. And then suddenly they get themselves into a difficult situation where they've not made a profit. And I hear from master builders all the time saying to me, I'm just doing this job at cost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, busy fools. That's how I see it in my mind. And I've been there myself as well, so I know that. I'm running around, and at the end of 6 months or wherever we get a chance to sit down, because we look at our books every month. Before we used to look at once. If we made a profit at the end of the year, it'd be great. We'd look at it at the end of the year. Now we look at it every month. So if things aren't going in the right direction, we can make adjustments. If you don't look at the finances week in, week out, or month in, month out, how do you know if you're making any money?
Exactly.
You're on a job, you're paying the materials, you're paying the lads, you get to the end of the job, and you literally, you're underpaid yourself. You've had to drop your own day rate just to get out of the job. And then you've had a load of issues because some of the builders have let you down or they did a bad job, and you're there working for free. I've done that, it happens.
So is it a question of saying to clients, look, someone's going to be cheaper than me, but you're actually going to find out in the end it's going to be a lot more expensive because they're going to add on, I don't know, it's going to say, well, we didn't charge for painting and decorating, or we didn't charge for that at the beginning. Whereas being upfront, at the beginning being more expensive might necessarily not be as...
I think it's easy to walk in and say, oh, well, that we're charging more. I mean, we're charging more because, we're better. But that has got to be expressed in the way that people see your business.
Right.
That's why your website is professional.
Marketing.
That's why I don't go, even though I'm a builder, I don't go into my meetings in my building clothes. In fact, I haven't been on the tool for 10 years. And I'm proud of that. Not because I don't like getting my hands dirty, because I've managed to get myself to a level where I don't need to be. But at the same time, when I present myself at their front door, and to other people present themselves, and I'm organised, and I'm professional, I stand out. If I'm talking about detail and someone else is thinking about getting back to the job because he's running late behind on his project, I'm not there present with a client.
Right.
That's when I stand out, and that's when I put my quote in. It's reflected in the price.
Okay, so staff. That we've had, especially in London, a number of really highly skilled people from the EU going back You know, people know their worth now. Prices are going up. They're asking for more wages. How do we retain staff nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, staff is always going to be a challenge in the industry. I think it's really important. I think part of the issue with getting staff is not growing your business too quickly.
Right.
Because the issue is that people take on too much or take on too big a job, and then they're looking for people. You know, you don't want to be taking people off, you know, at Yellow Pages or wherever you're getting them from, Gumtree, because if you're taking people in that way, you're going to be learning from your mistakes, and your business is more likely to fail because you're more likely to lose money.
Right.
So it's really important that you build a core team. And how to build a core team? Build your business slowly. If it's you and a lad, train the lad, get him confident, get him so he can be left on a job on his own, teach him how to speak to the client. That gives you free to then go and do your quotes, speak to your clients. Once that lad knows what he's doing, maybe you'll find a carpenter who's good at carpentry, and you start to build your team. Once you've got a core team of people you can trust, you can then bring new people in who maybe are less experienced. But I always have those people with people that I know their job, and we give them a trial period. I think one of the issues that builders face is they don't really properly vet the people that they're coming in.
Okay.
They don't check them properly. Look, if I speak to a lad and say, yeah, I've got a loft conversion, and then he's there for 2 weeks, I've kind of taken on the work and he's doing the job, and then he decides he wants to leave. And why has he left? Because he decided he wanted to go around the world on a ticket. That's what he was saving the 2 weeks for. I need to know what their motivations are. I want to know that they've got a family or that they want to be part of a business. The mission statement is about attracting people into your business. I run a quality business. I want to do really good work. I want to do interesting projects. Attract those people. That's where you're going to find more skilled people with more knowledge who are going to be able to deliver for you. It's said that 54% of companies that have a mission statement are more likely to retain their staff for 5 years. That's because you've got to get people to buy into your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. Because the builders I talk to will say, Sam, you know, I'll take on an apprentice, I get him trained up, then he's gone, you know, he goes for more money. But what you're saying there is, have them believe in your project, have them, you know, build in the trust of what you're trying to do.
You've got to get them on the hook. If you know that someone's good, of course they're going to want to go out on their own. So you talk to them potentially about, you know, at some point you can have a profit share. I've had contractors that have left me who've gone out to do their own stuff. I know they're really good because they've worked with me, but I keep in touch with them, especially the good ones. How are you doing? You know, how's business? I was a bit quiet. Oh, I've got a little project for you. I know that person. I trust their work. It's allowed my business to be flexible. I'm not trying to hold on to everybody. But they come back to me, Jay, have you got a job for me? I've got, you know, so you start to build a relationship with people in that way. So the communication is so important.
Profit share, increasing wages, you know.
Yeah, bonuses.
Always paying on time.
My lads get bonuses. If we do really good on a project, we take on bonuses.
Right.
We have social events. I take them out. Okay. I even have a little award ceremony, and then when they get the award, they get the bonus as well.
That's right.
We just have to incentivise people.
Okay. So moving on to clients. Okay, we've got good clients, we've got bad clients. You know, what do you do? How do you keep them happy? You know, especially if you're doing multiple jobs. Communication always seems to be a big one that comes up with me when clients ring me. I haven't heard from them. You know, I haven't heard from them in a few days. I don't know where they are. What the next steps are in this project.
Yeah. So happy wife, happy life. It's the same with clients.
Yeah.
Happy client, happy life. You've got to over-communicate, guys. You've got to be talking to them. You've got to be focused on detail. That, you know, when they feel, I found with clients, when I've over-delivered, and that includes not just me, the people on the site. So when on a Monday morning, all the lads get together and they have a chat about what's going on, And then on a Friday afternoon, they have a chat about what's going on. So we don't miss anything in the middle.
Right.
I go to site 2 days a week. I have meetings with those clients 2 days a week. While I'm in those meetings, I'm communicating everything, every activity, everything that's happened, if there's any amendments or changes. Because one of the issues is additional work. I've not had a project in the last 11 years where I haven't charged more money. It just doesn't happen. There's always additional work. But we have to communicate that in the right way. I can't be phoning you up the day before wanting the money. I'll ask you, just need to let you know there's a £3,500 bill for this. No. I have that meeting a week before, 2 weeks before. I explain to the client all the details, all the information. And so when they do get the bill, we get this. We get this kind of feedback. We get the trust. We build trust by communicating properly with our clients.
Right.
And when they get that, when they feel communicated with, then they're going to be happy.
What about the changes then? You mentioned, you touched on it then, you know, oh, I want a new design on this extension, can you have you guys here waiting for deliveries from me for a few more days? But obviously you've already agreed the price, Jay, so, you know, I take it that's it's not going to go up. You know, a lot of guys will be talking about those price changes. How do you manage that price?
When we set up our business, and we talked about this, the structure of the business, we have to have a contract. I don't care if you're one man working on his own, you still want your client to sign a contract. Just a small contract. And that covers you. If something happens on the job, which it always does, and you know the client sometimes just, well, can you just do this? Why are you doing that? And next minute you've done 10 jobs, which has taken 2 or 3 days, and you haven't made any money. You're not, why am I making any money on that job? It has to be that contract. Our contract started off with 1 page. It's now a 14-page contract. Every time I've learned something or lost some money, we put it in the contract. So now, when the client says, oh Jay, but you know, I need those guys to hang outside and wait for this, it's like, well, in the contract that states we're going to charge you 250 quid for half a day, because by the time he's there, even if he's there an hour, he's still got to get from there over to the other side of London, you know, to do the project. So we, as we learn, we can build all of our lessons into our contract, and that's really helpful to make sure that we can charge the additional charges so we are making a profit and not losing money.
Fluctuation clause in your contract is really, really important, especially with material prices going up so much. Thank you, Jay. So I was going to see if anyone had any questions maybe for Jay on obviously this topic. You can always come and speak to him afterwards if you don't want to put your hand up. One thing that I was going to sort of push you on a little bit, Jay, is I'm looking at your website and your marketing, so social media, the images you get done, the videos you do videos of testimonials with people. So talk to me a little bit about your strategy around marketing.
The strongest recommendation is always a recommendation. That's how I started off. You know, someone picked up the phone and said, oh, you did a job for my auntie or my mate, and could you come and look at this? That's never going to change. But when we grow a business, we can't rely on the local, because now we want to get clients. If we want to grow a business, we're not just going to be the people in the street that you're in or the street after. First of all, I don't care if you're a one-man band, you get a banner, you put it outside your job. How many jobs I drive past and see building work and activity going on and there's no sign outside? I don't know who's working there. I don't care what job you're on, get a sign outside the job. This is really important.
And then you do video testimonials with your clients.
In terms of that, like I said, recommendation is the best form of getting the next job. It's also the best form of getting the highest price for the next job. Because when that client waxes lyrical about your business, when I walk through the door confident, because I feel like, you know, someone else is recommending me. I'm not trying to sell myself. You mentioned this at the beginning. We're talking about why your prices are higher. You don't need to do that, because the clients have recommended you. We always do video testimonials. We do video testimonials at the end of the job. I used to start off with a phone and just get asked. I'd make a few questions. How was the job? And you can just put it. You can even just send that to people on WhatsApp if you haven't got a website. It doesn't have to start off big. Now we have maybe 10, 15. You can look at our website for some inspiration. 10 or 15 clients talking about their project, their experience, how it was for them. You know, how it's changed their lives, for their families. You're inspiring people, and also when you do that, you're able to ask for more money, you know, in the right way.
Just one more then from me. In terms of the beginning, you had a list of the just the one, go back one there. So office, admin, client relations. I think there was another one on the. But in terms of once you got all your staff on site, but then you started to bring in office management, accountant. Not everyone can do that, you know. Is there one of those positions that you would highly recommend that made the big step for you to move from maybe small jobs to the larger jobs? You know, was it an office manager? Was it an accountant? Like, how did you?
I think there's at some point I mean, initially when you're in the business, you're all of those things yourself.
Exactly.
But you do get to a point, you know, when you got projects that are 250k, 300, 400, 500k, you know, you cannot handle all that yourself. You need to have an office admin. That needs to be sorted out. That needs to be, look, there are virtual assistants that you can hire in the Philippines. I know it sounds crazy, but it's not that difficult. They're like £8 or £10, £15 an hour. And a lot of them are already trained to work in our industry. Trust me, they're out there. I know actually, if anybody's interested, I know a guy who does that. He trains people in the Philippines to work in property in this country. So you can have someone managing your calls, dealing with your emails, doing a lot of the basic things that you won't need to do, or you would need to do for you. And it's not a big cost. But without, as I said, without this core system in place, without processes, as soon as things start to unfold, look, it's great when, I always say, a sign of a good business is not when things are going well, it's when things don't go well. Yeah. Because that's when we really get to see how good a company you are, how you handle your clients, how you deal with the stress, how you stay even-tempered and calm and professional. That's what the Federation is about, professionalism. And so we need to, you know, we need to build that into our business, and we can't do that if we're trying to deal with, we've got 25 phone calls, the roof's leaking and this is going on. We are going to react, we're going to overreact. We're going to, oh, it's clients on the phone, and you start shouting at the client, you go, Jesus, I need to cry. So you really need to have this sorted out. It's got to be sorted out. You can't neglect it. These are the tools. When I say at the beginning of this talk, I'm talking about tools. Not these tools, these tools. Once you've got these tools, you need this. But really, you should be thinking about this before you start using these.
No, that's really, really helpful. So Jay's with the Federation of Master Builders. If you want to come and speak to me about joining and being a member, you get lots of things involved with that, HR, you get contracts, you get training, and Jay utilises a lot of that in his business. We're all kind of wrapped up here, Jay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered it all, to be honest.
Well, if you did have any questions for Jay, you didn't want to put your hand up now, then obviously we'll be around for a little while. If there's anything you want to ask about the Federation of Master Builders, I'll be here too. So just...
Yeah, I will say, if anybody needs any advice or, you know, bit of support, take my card, you know, give me a call.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Jay, for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to watch. Cheers, everyone.